The great migrations of nature. Nature is full of mysteries and wonders, but few are as breathtaking as the great migrations that take place across the planet. Every year, millions of animals cross continents, oceans, and deserts in search of better living conditions. Why do they migrate? What drives them to travel such immense distances, facing predators, storms, and natural obstacles? Migration is not just a journey, it is a matter of survival. From the smallest insect to the largest marine giant, each migration has a purpose, a challenge, and a unique reward. And today, we will explore the stories of 5 of the most incredible migrations in the animal kingdom. We will follow the wildebeest, crossing rivers teeming with crocodiles, the sardines, creating a fascinating spectacle in the sea, the monarch butterflies, flying thousands of miles to survive the cold, the elephants, moving across arid lands in search of water, and the humpback whales, embarking on an oceanic journey to find safe breeding grounds. But what is truly at stake for these species? And what lessons can we learn from these migrations? Get ready to discover how nature, with its immense wisdom, creates solutions and strategies to ensure the continuity of life on Earth. Wildebeest migration, the journey for survival. Every year, millions of wildebeest set out on one of the greatest migratory journeys on Earth, crossing the vast plains of the African savannah in search of food and water. But what may seem like a simple migration is, in fact, a brutal test of endurance, where life and death intertwine with every step. The wildebeest migration is driven by scarcity of resources. During the dry season, the African savanna turns into an unforgiving, arid land. Grazing becomes scarce, and the animals must move to new, more fertile areas. In a race against time, these herd-dwelling animals cover vast distances through a path filled with natural dangers. The challenge is not only in the distance. The crossing of crocodile-infested rivers is one of the most dramatic moments of the migration. Thousands of wildebeest plunge into the waters, putting their lives at risk as crocodiles wait patiently to attack any straggler or hesitant animal. The collective strength of the herd, however, is their greatest defense. Moving in large numbers makes it harder for predators to single out one victim. Even so, death is always lurking. Beyond crocodiles, lions, hyenas, and leopards actively follow the herds, waiting for opportunities. For the wildebeest, unity is the key to survival. Constant threats make migration a struggle for cohesion. Where any isolated animal becomes easy prey. Females with calves are especially vulnerable. In the end, the reward comes in the form of renewal upon reaching new grazing grounds. Vegetation regenerates and the wildebeest secure the food needed to survive until the next season. This journey is not just physical migration, but one of nature's greatest displays of endurance and collective strength. Did you know that during migration, wildebeest travel up to 800 kilometers in search of water and food? What impact does this migration have on the balance of the savannah ecosystem, and how does it affect the lives of other animals? Sardine migration, the Great Run. Every year in the crystal-clear waters of South Africa's coast, a natural spectacle takes place that attracts sharks, dolphins, seabirds, and even whales. The Great Sardine Run. Although at first glance it may seem like just the movement of shoals, this migration is one of the greatest biological phenomena on the planet, where marine life gathers for an epic clash between predators and prey. The sardine migration is driven by the need for reproduction and safety. In search of warmer and safer waters, sardines move in massive shoals along the coast, creating an impressive spectacle of synchronized movement. However, this displacement does not come without risks. As they approach shallow waters, sardines become the target of a huge predator, the great white shark. But it's not only sharks that take advantage of this opportunity. Dolphins, seabirds, and even humpback whales join the migration, creating a fierce competition for the vast number of sardines. During this mass movement, the density of the shoal becomes so high that the sea is literally covered with fish. The struggle for survival reaches its peak, and only the fastest sardines manage to escape. The reward for the sardines, however, is the opportunity to ensure the continuation of the species, with spawning taking place in more protected waters. This cycle repeats every year, with the shoal moving in a choreographed pattern, seizing the right moment to guarantee the survival of the next generation. Did you know that during the Great Run, millions of sardines can be seen simultaneously in the ocean? Monarch butterfly migration, the long flight for survival. Every year, millions of monarch butterflies begin an extraordinary journey of thousands of kilometers, traveling from Canada and the United States to the mountainous forests of Mexico, where they will spend the winter. This is one of nature's greatest mysteries, as monarch butterflies are fragile creatures, yet they possess an unusual resilience that allows them to complete this epic migration. The reason for their migration is tied to climate. As winter approaches, the weather in North America becomes too cold and harsh for monarchs to survive. Following deep instincts, they are guided along a precise route, despite never having made the journey before. An impressive feat of genetic memory and natural orientation. Along the way, the butterflies face storms, strong winds, and food shortages. They often need to take refuge in small sheltered areas to rest, enduring a journey that can last up to 3 months. During this migration, monarchs do not fly alone but in large groups. which provides some protection against predators and creates a kind of collective shield against the difficulties of the journey. When they finally arrive in Mexico, the butterflies find an ideal landscape. Forests of fir and pine trees with mild temperatures where they can shelter during the winter. Upon arrival, they rest and prepare for reproduction. Once that cycle is complete, the new generations return north, continuing the monarch butterfly's life cycle. Did you know that monarch butterflies travel up to 4,800 kilometers? How do you think they manage to navigate such enormous distances and overcome so many natural obstacles? Elephant migration, the journey of giants. In Africa, the largest land mammal embarks on an epic journey that lasts for months. The migration of elephants. Although elephant migration is not as obvious as that of other animals, such as wildebeest or sardines, it is equally crucial for their survival. The main reason, the constant search for water and fresh grazing, especially during the dry season when water becomes a scarce resource. But unlike other animals, elephants do not migrate along a fixed route. They rely on ancestral memory to guide the herd to the best places. The matriarchs, the oldest and most experienced females, lead the migration, using the knowledge gained throughout their lives to guide the younger elephants to water sources and fertile areas. This is vital to the success of the herd, as the group depends on the accumulated wisdom passed down through generations. During this journey, elephants face a series of challenges. They travel across difficult terrain, cross rivers and dense forests, and encounter predators such as lions and hyenas, although their strength and size provide significant protection. However, the greatest obstacle of all is human impact. Habitat destruction, conflict with agriculture, and poaching are constant threats that make migration even more difficult. But the reward is significant. Upon reaching new grazing grounds and water sources, elephants ensure the survival of their families, allowing the life cycle to continue. Their migration, though not as massive as that of wildebeest, is a clear demonstration of how these giants shape the ecosystem. Their footprints open paths for other animals, and their feeding activities help control vegetation growth, creating a natural balance. Did you know that elephants have an impressive memory and are capable of remembering the location of water sources for many years? How do you think the experience of matriarchs influences the migration and survival of the herd? Humpback whale migration, the journey of the giants of the sea. Every year, humpback whales undertake one of the most impressive and longest journeys in the animal kingdom. A migration of thousands of kilometers, traveling from the cold waters where they feed to the warmer tropical waters where they reproduce. But what makes this journey so fascinating and challenging? Humpback whales are known for their precise navigation skills. They travel from nutrient-rich seas, such as those of the Antarctic, to tropical waters of the Caribbean, the Pacific Ocean, and the Indian Ocean, where temperatures are more favorable for reproduction. During migration, humpbacks can travel up to 8,000 kilometers, an incredible distance for such a colossal animal. The journey is full of challenges. Whales face strong currents, storms, and the constant threat of poaching. They must also feed adequately before beginning migration, as the journey requires enormous energy. In addition, pollution and rising water temperatures due to climate change directly affect the balance of this migratory cycle. Whales are often forced to adjust their routes, sometimes seeking new paths to find cooler waters. But despite all the obstacles, the reward for humpback whales is clear. They reproduce in tropical waters, ensuring the continuation of the species. After reproducing and nursing their calves, the whales return to colder, nutrient-rich waters to feed and regain energy before starting the migratory cycle once again. Did you know that humpback whales can swim at speeds of up to 16 km/h during migration? How do you think whales manage to maintain their orientation and navigate such immense distances without getting lost in the ocean? Our role in preservation. The Great Migrations are one of nature's greatest spectacles, but they also reflect the incredible interconnectedness of all forms of life on our planet. Each migration, each journey, carries with it a story of resilience, adaptation, and the need for preservation. Wildebeest, sardines, monarch butterflies, elephants, and humpback whales do not simply migrate. They are part of a greater cycle, a natural balance that has sustained life for millions of years. However, this cycle is at risk. Rising temperatures, pollution, illegal hunting, and habitat destruction threaten the survival of these species and endanger migrations that are vital to maintaining ecological balance. And this is where our role comes in. Each of us has a responsibility to preserve natural habitats, protect the animals that depend on these migrations, and reduce the negative impact we cause on the planet. We cannot expect nature to do this on its own. We need to act to ensure that these stories of resilience, like migrations, do not become things of the past. What can you do? How can we contribute so that future generations may also witness the miracle of the Great Migrations? Leave your thoughts in the comments, share this video, and subscribe to discover more stories about what we can do to protect our planet. Together, we can make a difference.